Chair.
Are we set? Yes, Senator Fisher.
Could I make some brief comments
Yes, you
before
may.
we adjourn? Thank
Senator
you.
Fisher.
First of all, I'd like to thank you and your staff for the help you have given us on the cattle market and transparency bill. And I also want to thank Senator Bozeman and his staff for helping us work on this bill as well to make sure that it is technically correct and ready to go to the floor. Tomorrow will mark 1 year since this committee met to examine issues in the cattle market. And today we considered legislation that poses a solution to issues we heard about in that hearing and from cattle producers for years now. The goal of the legislation is to ensure that every segment of the beef supply chain can succeed by ensuring robust price discovery and market transparency. We know negotiated transactions involve a bid and an ask. They facilitate price discovery to establish the going rate for cattle. We also know that negotiated transactions have drastically declined over the past 20 years. The decline has been especially pronounced in some regions of the country. I understand the value of AMAs. They can provide economic returns and operational efficiencies. However, AMAs rely on the negotiated market, often using publicly reported cash price information to set their base prices. Producer groups almost uniformly acknowledged concern about cash price information becoming too thin. Over the past 2 years, we have witnessed voluntary industry efforts to increase negotiated trade. While there was some success, ultimately, by the industry's own standards, these voluntary efforts failed because of the packers' lack of participation. That brings us here today. We know more market transparency and price discovery are needed, and working in this strong bipartisan fashion with my colleagues from all around the country, our legislation will address these issues. I want to especially acknowledge Senator Grassley, who has worked on this issue for almost 20 years. He understands it. He has been a fighter for it, and I thank him for working with me on my bill so that we could reach a good consensus and be able to move this legislation forward to the floor. So thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Well, thank